right, hey guys. Sorry, I was watching my kid play there. Hey, so got a video for you today. I already shot all of it, so I'll just let you know. Whoa, that's loud. Um, if you don't, if you hear that knock there, we installed some solenoids, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Just kind of, before every video where we're touching electronics, I kind of know what I'm doing. Not really. You can follow my advice, but just know it's at your own risk. But I'm really happy with how the solenoids turned out. They kind of add a little bit extra to the play. And Grace, I'm going to go ahead and pause this here. Is that cool? What's up, Brendan? What are you doing? All right, I'm going to pause. There we go. All right. So thank you, Grayson. That was awesome.
All right, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's Grayson. This is Brendan. Brendan, you got a cool wolf there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
What's a husky?
Yeah, nobody can see you there. All right, cool. All right, so shameless plug of my kids. But anyway, yes, we installed the solenoids. This is at your own risk, but had a lot of fun with it, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. During this video, I'm going to leave it in there just because it's fun. It's not that off. The one thing is, at one point, I do have some trouble with the wiring, and I say that I redid it, and I did it exactly the same. I'm lying a little bit there. I actually did add a resistor, which I will fess up to shortly after, but just want to let you know from the beginning. And then I do spend 10 minutes trying to troubleshoot, maybe not quite 10 minutes, but trying to troubleshoot why my flippers aren't working, only to figure out that it was just a big old dumb mistake. So y'all can wait for that one. So anyway, without further ado, here we go. Let's install these exciters. I'm sorry, solenoids. All right, so I did just want to make one disclaimer before we start here. So when you're putting on these solenoids, I kind of mentioned it later, but it is an all or nothing. So you're always going to have these solenoids running once you hook them up. So even if your ALP is off, you're still going to have that sound because they're going to be hooked up. So you could remove the power, but then if you remove the power to the solenoids, you remove the power to your flipper buttons, period. So once you hook them up, you're kind of invested unless you want to completely tear it down again. But there's no going between solenoids and not solenoids. Now, the reason you would go with this solution is because you want it for the stock tables. If you're not really invested in the stock tables, then I would recommend going with a different solution where you're not wiring necessarily directly to the button, the button to the solenoid to the ALP, but instead going to an encoder that works with virtual pinball. But anyways, this is for those who want it with the stock tables, which was important to me. But I just want to make sure you're fully aware that it is an all or nothing. So you will always have those solenoids every time you flip that button. I'm sorry. Yeah. All right, so how are we going to wire this up? Well, here's a diagram up here. I'll pull this down, kind of stretch it here a little bit so we can see it. But this is how we're going to do it. So this is from I think the Pinup Popper guide to set up solenoids. And we're going to kind of do it a little bit differently, but this is the general schematic here. So here's going to be your ALP button. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a power supply feed into one of the sides of the ALP button. And then that is going to, on the other side of the ALP button, come down here. And we're actually going to bypass the resistor here. I'm not an electrician, so perhaps you need to, but I didn't see the need for it with my setup. But, go for it if you want to. Anyway, so we'll have it branch off here and go directly to this octocoupler right there, which I'll show in a second here. And then it's also going to do another branch down here and go to the solenoid, as well as go to a diode. And then on the other side of the octocoupler here, we're going to have, or we'll just go from the ground here. So from the ground, it's going to go to all three of these. It's going to go to the solenoid, the diode, as well as the octocoupler. And then how the octocoupler is going to work is we're actually going to have to do two wires here. So we'll have both a wire, because ours, you'll notice, has three. It has a DC plus, a DC minus, and then an in. Has 3 ports here. So we actually need to feed 2 of the grounds here versus just one. That way we can have both the ground and the trigger pin. And then this over here, this key encoder is actually our ALP control board. So what's going to go here is what's currently connected to the button. So really easy schematic, and we'll just get to it here. So I'm going to pull that back up. All right. And so you'll see I have quite a few things here. I have this, which is just a DC to wire, I guess. So we'll be able to plug this into a power supply, which I have down here. And let's see that there. So that's just a standard. I think I have a 3 amp down there, 2 amp, 12 volt. I'll make sure of that later. And then I have the actual the octocoupler here. So in the schematic they show you, it's a different type of octocoupler. I forget the exact model, and I have some here, but I couldn't get it to work the way I wanted it to. So I ended up going with these, which allows me to basically I can set whether it goes to an open trigger or a closed trigger. That way I can better, because what I was finding was I was actually getting that the whenever I would hook this up, the pinball flipper would always be up, so I couldn't get it to actually go down. And then when I flip this around, use this one here, I was able to get it working correctly. So we'll go over that in a little bit here. And then I got a bunch of little wires, some wires there, some wire nuts, a little 3D just enclosure to kind of allow you to make it flush. And then I got the solenoid here. So with the solenoid will go in the enclosure, just like this. And you'll see when we push it out, it kind of goes just right to the end of that. So you'll get that knock, but that way you can like put this flush up against, and I'll show you where we're going to mount it. And then you'll make sure it's going to knock there. So that's that. Okay, so the first thing let's do is actually put it in its enclosure. And all I'm doing with that is, shoot, I don't have electrical tape. No electrical tape, come on. What is that? Yep. There we go. Found it. Okay, so we're just going to kind of run a piece of electrical tape around here. And what we're going to do is we want these wires to kind of come back here so that when there's nothing that's going to catch this thing from firing. And so we'll just kind of tape the wires down and go like this, wrap around a couple times. And I don't have scissors, but that's a great thing about electrical tape. All right, so we got that there. See the enclosure. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to wire up kind of towards our schematic here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take, we got it tells you on here, yeah. So this side is the positive terminal, and this is the ground terminal. So we're going to first plug in the positive terminal. So we'll put a wire in there, and I do have a screwdriver here. So get that screwed down. All right, and that would go to the button, so we really can't do much there because we don't have the button right now. So then we'll go with the ground side. We'll work our way out from the ground. All right, so we'll go to the ground here. And I didn't strip these yet. All right, so we got the ground here, the positive there, and then we'll strip the ends here. Probably don't want them that exposed. Yeah, I figured it didn't actually get in there. There we go. Actually, I think I want a little bit more off on this side than that. All right, that's good. All right, so let's try and get this back in here. And actually, I'm going to go with this end first because All right, so I need to undo this. Get it in there. All right, much better, much better. All right, so there we go. Okay, so this again is the positive, and this is the ground. So where's the ground going to go? The ground is going to go to the diode, the one side of the solenoid, and also the octocoupler. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to take all three of those. So I've got a small wire that's going to go to the octocoupler. I got one side of the solenoid here and a diode. And we're just going to take those all and put them together, mix it up with this right here, and kind of put them together and wire nut it. Hopefully I had enough. Yep. So all those are wire nutted together. And there we go. All right, so then this wire right here, this is, oh shoot, I need another wire. I gotta stop looking at that diagram. So we're gonna add another wire in here. We'll add a shorter one. And then we'll go back a wire and nut them back together. I keep forgetting we need two going into the octocoupler. Right. There we go. Okay, so we got our two going into the octocoupler here. So we're gonna throw one of them. Let me make sure I got enough room there. Okay, so one of them's gonna go in the what's called. It's gonna be this side here. One of them's the DC minus, and one of them is the in. Can you get there without being unfocused? Focus. Nope. No autofocus. Sorry. But it's these two on the left here when you're holding it this way. All right, so put those in there and then screw them down. It's fun trying to. All right, let's do one at a time. Okay, you stay. All right, got one in there good. All right, and then here we go. You can do it. There we go. All right, that one's in there pretty good. Okay, so then as you can see here, we got basically this. And now we're going to go back here. So we're going to do, we'll do this chain first. So this is going to be from the diode and the semiconductor. So basically just because this will be this wire. Oh, you can't see it. Whatever. That wire is going to kind of be the wire up top here. So we'll go with the diode. The other end of the solenoid and this wire here, and that will give us that chain. All right. Okay, so then with the schematic, this is we're going to need a wire coming from the octocoupler to be connected to this. That is then going to go back into the button. So we're going to take these two more small cables here, and we're going to do this. And wire them together. All right, and then one one of these is going to go to the octocoupler, the positive terminal. So right here. Good. All right. All right. That's solid. That's still solid. All right. So we are actually wired up here. Good to go. The only thing is, these two right here are what's going to go to the button. But for the fun of it, let's just see if it works. So we're going to go and we're going to plug this in. And we'll even, leave it so you can see that there. Try and have it. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to do. All right, so basically, with the button, all we're going to do is touch these together. So let's go ahead and simulate a button here. And I screwed it up. What'd I do? All right, definitely shorting something. So let's see what's going on. So we got this going to the button. All right, I'm going to pause and see if I can figure this out here. All right, so now my desk is a mess, but not like it was a mess before. But anyway, I just basically went and undid it all, and I rewired it exactly the same. I swear to you, it's exactly the same as it was before. The only thing I noticed when I was taking it apart is some of the places I didn't strip the wire quite as much as I should have, and so therefore I did notice that there were places where maybe it wasn't catching once I put the wire nut on. So I have it rehooked up here. I do know that it works, but you can, discover the magic with me. We'll pretend it doesn't work. Oh, we don't know. So let's see. Let's see how this goes here. Ready? All right, so we're just going to kind of simulate a button, put these together, and see what happens. There we go. We got it. You can also see it here telling it that we have power. The other thing is, we should also get a light showing that it's relaying some information. I don't know if that is this jumper that'll do that, or if that is, we have to actually complete the circuit. We'll see. Yep, there you go. See? So once I change that jumper, you'll now see that not only is it getting power, but it's also the red is, so green's power, red is it's relaying the information. The cool thing I like about this setup is solenoids can get hot. And so with this, you are actually not providing it power until the button is pressed. Instead of, a configuration where it may always be on just waiting for the trigger, and then the trigger makes it go. But with this solution, it's not actually on until you do that. And then, of course, this is going to, on the other end, trigger the other one. So we'll go ahead and hook this up to the ALP, but that is that's the wiring. So sorry about the little mess there. Make sure you strip enough. And if you want to, you could use, other things than wire nuts. To me, they're easy enough to put on, but they do have some issues. So anyway, this wasn't needed, but I did end up throwing the resistor in there. It's just a 100 ohm resistor, so nothing big, but I figured why not put it on there. All right, there you go. So we're over the ALP now, and we're going to go ahead and mount this and get it hooked up. So I already took off the apron here. But basically, just take off the apron. All you do is you undo the screws on the side here, undo the screws on the front, and then take those two bars off. I don't even take the left bar off because I kind of just slide it out and then up and over. It gives you a nice little lift to put things on. If you can see here, Don't hate me for the condition of my ALP. But there you go. That's how I do it. Anyway, so we got it back down in here. As you can see, I've already done some things with the buttons, so this may not look exactly like yours, but we'll just go over that as we're doing it. It's pretty much the same. All right, so we're going to mount it, and when we're mounting it, where we're going to mount it is right here. This lip is like perfect. So we just get some double-sided mounting tape, and we put it right here on this lip. So I'm going to go get some. This is Gorilla mounting tape. What's up, Grayson? Are you playing Fortnite? Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's my son. I can't easily angle a camera. You've seen him before on many other videos. So I'm cutting off a piece of Gorilla mounting tape. Great stuff. And we're going to peel that off. I peel off both sides because I find that it's easier to work with before you stick it on something. Once you stick it on something, if you are going to take the tape off right away, I mean, obviously if you need it on because you're transporting it or something. And then we're going to take the bottom side of this right here and stick that mounting tape on right there. So there's the mounting tape. And then this is going to be hitting the side of the wood. So this side is going to be the side we line up. So we'll go over here, and you can see I'm at this lip here. I'm going to get it right up flush with the wood here, and then just press down. And there we go. We got it mounted. Easy peasy. All right, so the next thing we got to do is we got to hook up our buttons. So we'll hook up our buttons. Yours will be this black and red wire coming right into the button. I already kind of disconnected these because I put in other buttons, and then I went back to the stock buttons for my flippers because I like those better. But it's nice for me because I can just take the wire caps off. What you're going to do is you're basically just going to cut the wires, and then the two halves are going to connect up. So once I take these wire nuts off, I'll be in the same position as what you would be. If I can get them off. Maybe not. There we go. Okay. All right, got the two wire nuts off, and so we have our two sides. Blue is my positive, and the black is my. So I think you'll actually have a blue and a black wire going in. No. I can have two wires in. One of them's going to be back for the ground. And then we'll take, we don't even need to take the buttons off here. All we need to do is take this black wire and find which one our ground was. So which one's coming out of the ground. This one. So we'll hook this up to the black wire connected to our button. We'll just take a wire nut here and do this. Right. And then we'll take the positive one, try and free up the wires here. Get a mess going on. I'm sure certain people watching this video are having a heart attack looking at my wiring here. But we'll take this right here. There you go. All right. So now technically we're wired up. We just got to give it power. I already have. How do I have that? Oh no, that's right. I have that. Not as a. Do I have any more extension cords? Let me see. I have extension cord, not because I undid my extension cord when I was trying to figure out what was not working. No, I already took a look. I ordered some. So just take a normal power supply here. I don't even know if that's long enough. I'm having some issues, guys. Oh, wait, no, I do have somewhat of an extension cord. This right here, and actually, yeah, it's not gonna be long enough here anyway. All right, whatever. We'll just see if we can get power up here. I don't even think this is all left hand. And normally I would run this through. Again, man. Remember that rule? All right. All right. There we go. Actually, that's not bad. So I now have DC power in. We're just gonna go ahead. Sorry for knocking the camera. Now actually to find this. And even without the ALP on, this should get power. We'll see. So if I do my solenoid, or if I do the button flip here, it should trigger the solenoid. And it did. She's got power. Okay. So the last thing we have to do is wire up the other end of the octocoupler so that it talks to the ALP. Now to get that, I'm going to turn the ALP on here. And hopefully it turns on and I didn't disconnect the ALP to... No, okay, good, it's turning on. Like, please don't tell me when I was doing my rewiring, or not rewiring, my re-thing. Oh my word, look at my floor. Yeah, let's get that back in here so you guys can't see that. You can still see it. Oh. When I'm not like taking things apart and putting them back together on a daily basis, that's when I will start doing wire management. But at this point, I'm still at the, I'm always switching things around. You can never have enough extension cables. By the way, this is hooked up to a, so this is hooked up directly to a DC adapter. What I have on the other side, you might be able to see it here, is, it's this right here, and I actually have, where is it? Okay, so I have it connected up here, and then this is connected to it. This is on an extension cord, and the extension cord is running down through the cabinet, and then I have the DC cable going to that. And so what I'm going to do is, once I get an extension cord, I'm going to use one of these, which is a, I think this actually technically goes into 3, but I taped one down. So I'm going to do one power and then connect. So my DC outlet will be connected to this, and then my power will be, these will be connected to each side. I don't think I run into an issue. I will say I did actually use this with my amp, and evidently I did not know how these work very well, because I did end up actually having feedback going into my amp, and then it was actually flickering my screen. So that must have even been going through my amp back to my ALP, or causing interference somehow. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm hoping I can at least keep one separate to my amp, and then use a splitter from one DC to my 2 solenoids. All right. Okay, so we have the ALP loaded up here. Let's go here and load up one of my favorite tables, Combat Deluxe. And that's loading up. Combat Deluxe. This thing's doing the one flipper that, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get a good angle here until, so you'll just have to trust me on this. But you'll see when I go ahead and flip the flipper, nothing happens. Actually, that's a pretty decent angle, so because you can still see the flipper there. So nothing happens. So we need to get it to talk to the ALP. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to disconnect my power, just because I'm supposed to be a good boy. and do that, so that way we're not getting power here while we're trying to hook it up. I'm not careful until I have something touching this ALP, and then I'm very careful because I do not want a 700 pounds. That's my fault. All right, so we just have to hook up this other end, and so we go down here. We'll have our two wires here. The one was going to the power. So the little one that was normally going to the power, we're going to stick on this far line here that says open. Put that in there. No, we're not going to put that in there because it is screws. I will say, and I probably should have mentioned this earlier, the one thing is, once you do this, there's no going back. I mean, it is, but it's not like you can say, don't play with Solenoids or don't play with Solenoids. Maybe we thought about it, we could create a switch or something to kind of get there. Alright, and then, in this that way, you're going to come out here and you turn one off, but I'll leave it up to the next person. And then we'll take the ground and we're going to put it into the middle one here that says com. Right side, the other side. We're going to turn this on so we can blow it up. Sorry, I had a moment of, I thought the middle said ground, it says com, so I just want to make sure that that is indeed how I set this side up. So, what is that? Is that blue? It's a blue. Actually, looks like I have the blue. And the line for the are going to. I mean, I don't know if it really would have made a difference, but I want to do the best. So we're going to do this real quick. Over here. Alright, so we got all that in. This should all be hooked up correctly. Let's see. Hopefully, this time around when we hook it up, it will actually work. Or you'll see my screen go dead. But theoretically, that still shouldn't happen until I press the solenoid button. Have that magic. Alright, there we go. Okay. Alright, so it's still working now. Let's see. It's gonna happen? No. It did. Good stuff. Alright, let's see what we did wrong here. Let me just verify again that I was right over here. Kind of mounted to the side here, so I know you can't see it. Okay. Alright, so What's that going to? What color is that? Come on. Oh, that's a black. Normally opens going to black. Oh, shoot. Okay. That was right the first time. The ground's in the middle. Alright, let me disconnect this. Sorry guys. This is me just trying to get like longer view times. Um, yeah. Alright. Because on the other one I actually like put wires out and then like so I didn't plug these wires directly in. I instead extended them another wire, so I had to kind of follow those wires down. Alright, let's try this one more time. Ground in the middle. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work. Video. Okay. In all honesty, I probably should have just do extension cords. Like, kind of wire these to a better wire. Pray. But let's get good. Okay. See how this goes. This is the one I hooked up, right? No. That would be funny. We would have hooked up one that doesn't even have power to it. Alright, where do you go? There you are. Alright, let's see how it goes now. Now, still a no. Clearly sending the signal. So it's N, N-O. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I did grab the right wires, right? Wait. You have to start the game. I'm an idiot. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Throws me off. This is a real pinball machine. We would have had that issue. Alright, I'm sorry about that. Here we're going through all this. We're like, what's going on? But that's it. So I'm an idiot. I'm not going to edit out this video, though, just because, again, it makes it longer and also it's fun. But yes, that is completely what happened. So I'm wondering, like, when you're watching this, how many of y'all are going to be like, what an idiot. Why is he, like, doesn't he know to press start? Come on, press start, dude. But no, I did not even think to press start. But anyway, we got it hooked up. We got to go in there. I can kind of close it. Like I said, I want to run this cord down through, but I'm not going to do it until I actually get my extension cords to do it. But I can kind of close her up here. Did I mount this? Yeah, I'm taking that off. There we go. Alright, so there. So you can hear the difference here. This is my, and that's my one without it. Well, this one doesn't even work over here because that one's attached. So it would be cool to get both of these up and running. So let's, you know what? Let's do that. Let's get this here. we'll just pull this deck back here, and we'll hook up the 3 and see, make sure that at least works and doesn't cause an issue. So I'm going to plug this end in here, and technically I should unplug it all, but alright, so we got that one there plugged in. Let's make sure it works. Alright, that still works. And then we have the other one coming underneath the ALP here. But we'll just hook this one up to see how that works. Oh, there you go. So now I got both of them. And if you can kind of see the magic here. Pull it around. Oh, come on. Maybe not. There you go. We got both. Stupid thing is to get off the screen. I should probably just. I'm sorry, I left that up there for that like whole time. Let's see. Is that display cap? Is that a window capture? Nope. Oh, that's the image. There it is. Sorry. All right. Ready? Here. I don't have my teeth. That would be really cool to have. Oh, I can't. I'll try that there. That at least kind of closes up. Wish I had my dings hooked up, but I don't. Yeah, it's not gonna let me close that. I should be able to get that in there. There we go. Kind of lift it up here. So when it's open, I will say like. The sound, and you can definitely feel the knock, by the way. I will say the sound is pretty, I mean, it's cool, but it's also kind of annoying. But once I get it closed up, the sound is not nearly, you know, it actually sounds pretty good. I was thinking about putting something to soften it, but I think I'm going to leave it as is. I like it like that. And then, yeah, so that's it. They're now installed, and you know, pretty easy. I'll put links up for everything. But all in all, I mean, I think it's like $10 for each solenoid. It's, you know, you got your power adapter, which you might have those lying around. If not, you know, a 2 amp, 3 amp power adapter, you know, running at $10. The extension cables, the wires, the diodes, even the octocouplers. I got, it was $13 for like 8 of them. So really, I mean, to get those solenoids in there, you're talking less than $30. Nah, I'm sorry, I can't do math. Less than $50. We'll say that. So it's not a bad, you know, upgrade. I still, you know, will say hands down, I would not trade out exciters for solenoids. No way. I do like my exciters, but. The one thing with my exciters, so the exciters are great at like the explosion sounds. It's even good with like the ball rolling, I think. And the sounds, even making the cab shake with the flippers, or not the flippers, the slingshots and things like that. I think, you know, I really prefer those. Again, I haven't played enough with solenoids to 100% know that, but I believe I would still be in that fence. But when it comes to that flipper knock, that to me was just the one thing it couldn't get. With like what we've done with the Gamer Pros, even like what Buy Stuff Store's doing, you know, there it's a different story because you have plastic that you can kind of go through that's a lot easier and you can feel that knock. But with this wood, you couldn't feel it. And so the solenoids were really what I wanted to hook up here just to kind of get that. And you can definitely feel the knock. So that is the coolest thing. And it's got the awesome sound there. So I'm happy with the mod. That's it.